What's up, gamers? So I just ran into this video and I'm like, you know what? Let me check this video out. Let me see what he has to say because I know how he feels. And we see the title down here, Sony can't stop ruining the PlayStation 5, right? He has a lot to share about what he thinks about that, and I'm going to find this interesting. So let's get into this. Ponies, sit down. Let me know what y'all think, y'all. All right, let's go. Like, comment, and subscribe. All right, so what do we do? Okay, so he's 1080p. All right, here we go.
I've been sitting here trying to think of a fun way to start this video, like a fun little jokey way to be like, haha, punchline about the current state of affairs with the PlayStation 5. And maybe it's just because I'm a PC gamer and I'm increasingly cynical with my old age.
That's what I've been doing a lot lately.
28. I'm not old. But I just can't think
Ah,
of
yeah,
one.
okay.
Because just a few days ago, it was announced that the PlayStation 5 was going to be getting a pretty noticeable price increase in many regions across Europe and Australia and New Zealand. And this almost certainly means there's going to be a price hike in the US as well. We're all bracing ourselves for that because so many of us are just so excited to go buy a PS5. Which, side note, I think it's funny to cite economic hardships and it's a challenging economic environment as a reason why you're raising the price of a console 5 years into the lifespan. Like,
Everything, bro. Food, all of it. Yes, it's
if it's a challenging economic environment and the goal is to make as much money as you can in said challenging economic environment, why are you not dropping the price so you sell more units and get more people in your ecosystem to buy digital goods in your ecosystem on the console that you just made more accessible for them? If the idea is that it's a challenging economic time, why are you not meeting the consumer halfway? That's just my opinion.
you see what he just said, y'all? This is something that I've always told people. It goes back to this logic that would you rather sell 10 million copies at 59.99 and make 600 million or 2 million copies at 69.99? Think about that. And only make 140 million. What do y'all think about that? I did adjust this damn camera. Here we go. So, wouldn't that be better? Look, even all right, 3 million, right? That's 210 million. You're making 600 million selling 10 million copies at 59.99. Let's say that you did 10 million at 49.99. You still made 500 million. That's still way more than selling 3 million at 70, which is 210 million. And then those people can be into your ecosystem. They can buy all other sorts of stuff. This is where I feel like greed is stupid. Because it is.
Opinion, at least, like, it's not like the PS5s aren't already here. It's not like the supply doesn't already exist. You already manufactured them, sell them for less money, and then you get more people in the ecosystem for your challenging economics anyways. But just a few days ago, Sony jacked up the price of the PS5 in a handful of regions, and they're almost certainly going to be doing it in the US as well. But then yesterday, so like 3 days after they raised the price of the PlayStation 5 itself, they announced they are jacking up the price of PS Plus in Canada, which again is almost certainly going to lead to a US price.
Yeah, and they just recently did Turkey yesterday. So they're on a spree, and US is last because that's the biggest market.
Hike and more global price hike as well, but this one's even stupider than the console price hike. With the console price hike, you can at least make the argument that, like, oh, there's physical overhead, there's physical, like, actual putting together of the thing, there's physical parts of the thing that need to be paid for, and those things cost more, so we gotta make the price of the physical thing more. PSN is an unnecessary service to begin with. This is a firewall, a digital firewall that keeps you from accessing your own games and the content that you already paid for. There is no physical overhead, and there is very minimal physical upkeep of PSN, and yet they are jacking up the price of it. There is zero justification for this. Zero. It now costs you, if you're a PlayStation gamer, it now costs you a minimum of $109 Canadian to play your own games online. $109 to play your own games on a console you already paid for, on internet you already paid for, using a console you already paid for. $109 extra to play your own multiplayer games. I openly invite you now to defend this. I am openly inviting you to defend this. Sony is so fucking full of themselves. It's not enough that they charge you for something they shouldn't have to charge you for. That's not enough. Because if you genuinely still think PSN is a necessary payment for your own multiplayer games, you're a fucking moron. I'm tired of trying to be nice.
That's actually pretty funny, man. This guy's awesome. But no, he's right though with the firewall, overcharging, jacking up the price. It doesn't justify anything when it comes to MSRP because that is going to be manufactured goods, right? They're doing this because they want to do this because they're greedy and they're full of themselves. So everything he said is exactly correct.
Nice and funny about it. You're a fucking moron if you think this is a necessary charge. It has never been a necessary charge. PSN is not supporting the multiplayer game servers. The developers are, and the publishers are. And even if you want to make the argument that PSN is it's the reason why the multiplayer games work, but they need to pay for the infrastructure. Okay, then why did free-to-play games not require it? If they need it for the infrastructure. If it's so necessary for the infrastructure to be upheld, why do you only have to pay for it for some multiplayer games and not other ones? And why do PC games not have to pay for it at all? Why do mobile games not have to pay for it at all? Why did Nintendo games not have to pay for it at all up until 5 minutes ago? They only charge you to play your own multiplayer games online because you let them get away with it. And because you let them get away with it, you're now paying 109 smackaroos up in Canada if you want to play your own games online. And you bet your fucking bahookie this is coming worldwide. Why wouldn't it be coming worldwide? And again, you can't use the excuse of something tariffs, something cost of manufacturing. There is no manufacturing. There is none. It's a digital firewall. There is no physical overhead. There's nothing they have to pay for. They are literally just raising the price of this because they can. So let's just recap here. Let's just recap the PlayStation 5 generation so far. We launched the consoles at $500, right? And then we don't drop the price for 5 years. In fact, we continue to increase the price over 5 years. And in the face of increasing the price of the base model over 5 years, we also released the Pro model for $700 with a disc drive that you have to pay for separately. We're also going to continuously up the price that you have to pay to play your own games online on the platform that we refuse to make any more affordable or accessible. But okay, Joe, all that.
And they jacked up the price to $69.99 at the beginning of the generation, and they canceled all those games. You kind of know what I mean? Then Concord, anything keep getting worse, and they just keep jacking up the price while doing that too. No PlayStation 5 hardware, no increase it up. That's what I'm trying to tell people. The biggest problem is Sony right now, like by a mile. You want Nintendo to come around and dominate them. If not, then that would be absolutely terrible. And I've been telling people it's right in front of their face every day they wake up, but yet it just blows my mind. That's why you got to call some people ponies, because they just cannot see.
They need all that money. They need all that money to put into the great first-party games. Ah, yes, all the great first-party games of the PS5 generation.
Yeah, where are they at?
There have just been so many bangers. Bangers like Last of Us Faction. Oh. Bangers like the Spider-Man multiplayer game. Oh. Bangers like Twisted Metal. Oh. But I mean, you don't want to hear about the live service games that get canceled, right? You want to hear about the great first-party single-player games of Sony. They're charging you out the butthole because they need to fund their single-player games, right? Single-player games from the PS5 generation, like Last of Us Part 1 again, and Last of Us Part 2 again, and Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 again, and Horizon Zero Dawn again, and Days Gone again, and Until Dawn again. I still can't get over the fact that they're actually remastering Days Gone. They canceled Last of Us Factions, and they canceled the Spider-Man game. They canceled Twisted Metal, but they're keeping Days Gone remastered through. That's got to come out. Concord, that had to come out. Marathon, that's got to come out.
Their game. Cancel that God of War game too.
we put hundreds of millions of dollars into live service games, and then we just had the most confusing filter of all time with our live service games. Like, who is doing the green lighting this generation? Who is doing it? Who is doing it? Why did Concord come out, and why is Marathon coming out? Meanwhile, you've had 3 separate Last of Us re-releases on the PS5 so far, and none of them had any multiplayer of any kind. Who's doing this? Who's greenlighting all this? We released Horizon Zero Dawn remastered, unironically, with a straight face.
Well, Herman Host is no longer in that position, so yeah, him. Shuhei did certain things at the beginning, but Jim Ryan and Herman Host mostly. And we know the others are gone. Sean Layden was not with it. Shuhei Yoshida didn't really want to do that. He admitted the mistakes that he made. Jim Ryan did not admit anything, though. He just left like a scumbag.
And then we announced Days Gone remastered, again with a straight face. We did a whole fucking remake of Until Dawn with a totally straight face, absolutely serious. They handed it to you.
Literally the most worthless remaster.
And you were like, this is what you wanted, right? It's like that one meme with the guys. It's like, hey, we want PS5 games. Can we get some PS5 first party and get Days Gone remastered?
Yeah, get punished for something I denied a sequel to. Oh yeah, just go ahead and do that.
God, just Sony cannot stop fucking themselves in the face. And then a few days ago, I remember who it was, but it was some former PlayStation big shot saying that Nintendo's at risk of losing their identity. My boy, are you aware of what company you worked for? Where was this attitude 5 minutes ago for your own company? My goodness. Just Sony cannot stop absolutely annihilating themselves this generation. And you can say that they're still doing good this gen. You can still, you can say that this is still a successful console generation for them.
As a gaming?
But at the same time, they are pretty eager to get their games on PC. They are pretty eager to move the PSN ecosystem over to a different platform. So something's going on behind the scenes. Something's not going right. I am so glad I am no longer in the console ecosystem. I am so glad I'm on PC. Like, I don't know what you guys see in this platform anymore. I genuinely don't. You can't even make the argument that it's like, oh, it's just cheaper and simpler, man. I'll give you simpler. Cheaper? No. Do you have any idea what kind of magic I could work for you with this kind of money as a budget for building a PC? Do you have any idea what I could do for you with this kind of money? You can't argue that this is the cheaper option anymore. We have to start treating the PlayStation 5 and the PC as like a one-to-one comparison in terms of what you're getting for your money, because you're spending basically the same amount of money now. So
yeah, he's right though. Definitely if you're jacking up the price of online and you know you're going to be playing the console for at least 5 to 6 years that generation. If you're doing $110, that's $550 just for online. You got to get the console too, right? You're already in the $1,000 range. And we haven't even touched a video game or if you need to upgrade your TV or if you're using a monitor, all that. In a way, what he's saying is true. Just depends on how you look at it.
What are you getting for your money between a PS5 and a PC? Well, on the PC, you're getting more games, you're getting better performance, you're getting cheaper games all around, you're getting more peripherals, you're getting free access to your own multiplayer games, you have much better access to PlayStation's own legacy of games. Like, you do realize that the PC has more PlayStation games than the PS5 does, right? Like, by a landslide. Because I have all of the PlayStation games from the previous generations, minus a handful of PS4 exclusives, which are going to be emulated. It's only a matter of time. But on the PS5, what do you have over the PC? Don't say price, because that's not an advantage anymore. What do you have over the PC on the PS5? A more streamlined operating system, I guess? A more streamlined interface? Okay, fucking skill issue. Get used to the Windows interface, and that is no longer a point. What else have you got? Because I think that's it. What, you get first-party games 6-7 months early? With the way things are going right now, and how fast PC ports are being announced, you get to play the first-party games while they're still in beta, basically? This is the single worst console generation I have ever seen, and Sony just keeps making it worse somehow. Every word that comes out of their mouth, every announcement that comes out of their mouth makes me even happier I'm not part of this stupid ecosystem. Ugh, I don't know what else I have to say. I really don't. I saw this news about the PSN price hike, and I started thinking about all the other things that have come out recently. You know, like the console price hike, the marathon trailer in the face of all the canceled live service games, the third re-release of The Last of Us this console gen,
and the crappy state of play. Bro, they are just on a spree, as I've been telling people. It has not been good. And this is a good video, man. He's ripping into them. And I thought I would share this with y'all. So this is a really good one. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ponies, sit out. I know you guys can't handle this because I'm too good at doing this game. You know what I mean? I've been giving y'all some breaks. I've been cutting you some slack. But I will be back to rip and tear, ponies. We're not done here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now y'all know I do all types of content on my channel. You got no excuses. There's nothing you can say. All right. Y'all have a nice day. Peace out.